We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose, and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree: kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president. And you know, we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you. But I will say this. I've lived in a black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge, and change. Because if we don't, I just want to again say this. The bloodshed that...
Every white South African is racist. Every single one. Including you. Including me. We were born into a racist country, raised by racist systems, taught by racist textbooks, and disciplined by racist norms. Unless you've been consciously deprogrammed, that requires pain, effort, and education, you are still operating from a racist framework. Having black friends doesn't erase your racism. Voting for black politicians, no. Sleeping with someone of another race? Ha! Still racist. Whiteness isn't just calling someone a slur. It's the silent belief that whiteness is neutral and everything else is different. I don't see color while bleaching your hair and contouring your face. You see color just fine. You just don't want to deal with what it means. The entire education system would collapse overnight if we taught the truth. Apartheid wasn't resolved and whiteness is still centered. Your skin color isn't the problem. Your silence is. Your comfort is. Humanity expresses itself in shades, and racism denies that expression. South Africa, we're still living in the lie.
I don't mean to say this like to be disrespectful, and maybe this is, some people are going to think this sounds dumb, but I feel like there's a deeper reason why, people of color and specifically the Black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Just the things that happened during slavery alone, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about Black history and the ways that, people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the Black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, what if, I have this theory that, like, what if black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born something with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, you know, like I said, these people, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's why they were like, oh, we have to like get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about, that is linked to them being people of color, you know. And I've seen some black creators come on here and try to explain how special it is to have melanin in your skin and how it has all these different properties, but I don't know. I just feel like I have this theory that this goes so much deeper than maybe a lot of us realize, because I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna go out of your way for all these hundreds and hundreds of years to try to ruin one group of people over something as silly as, oh, their skin is a different color. Like, I feel like there's something that we don't know. I'm telling you, there's something special about them that they don't want us to know. Okay, this is just something that I've been thinking about recently, and I'm like, maybe if there are some black creators that maybe they already made a video and I just didn't see it, I don't know, but like, I don't know, maybe this sounds dumb, like, or maybe this is like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but
all right, welcome back, family. Hope that you're doing good wherever you are watching from, and continue celebrating these Eve holidays as we are heading to cross to the new year. May you, God bless you wherever you are watching from, and I welcome you again to this channel so that I can continue sharing and discussing all that is happening across the world. And now, this video that I presented to you, all these clips, these are the people, a video of the white Americans and all they had to say towards the black community, because they today are feeling of all that happened towards Africa, towards the black community. They today feel guilty as how the black Americans or the black people have been always being treated across Africa, across America, and across the diaspora, because all these people who are coming out to admit the truth and ask for forgiveness, they are the people who were hidden from everything that was done across the black community. These are the people who never knew the truth, because today, all that we've been always hidden as how it happened towards the black people, the same to the white Americans. Most of them, they don't know the truth. They don't know the truth behind everything, because it was hidden far away from them. Now,
every time black Americans take a step forward in this country, white supremacists throw a tantrum. We call it progress, they call it a threat. And every era of advancement, every hard-won inch toward equality has been met with a violent wave of backlash. So, let's talk about it. Donald Trump recently reposted a meme on Truth Social blaming Barack and Michelle Obama for worsening racism, saying they set America back 100 years. This coming from a man whose entire public life has been steeped in racism, from refusing to rent apartments to black tenants in the 1970s, to calling for the death penalty for the Central Park Five, black and brown teenage boys at the time, even after they were proven innocent, to spreading the racist birther lie that President Obama wasn't born in America. And now, in 2025, he's just proving that the playbook never changed, only the players did. When enslaved people were freed, what came next? Reconstruction. Black men winning elections, opening schools, building communities. And after that, the Ku Klux Klan, voter suppression, lynching campaigns, and the violent overthrow of black-led governments across the South. Progress met with terror. I did make a video on Reconstruction a while back, so go check it out. When black veterans came home from World War I in uniform, having fought for democracy abroad, white mobs murdered them for daring to expect democracy at home. That became known as the Red Summer of 1919.
White people. If crime statistics really mattered to us, we would be talking about white men every damn day. We as white people love to throw around statistics when it comes to the black community. We love to misconstrue data about poverty rates, crime rates, single-parent households. Here's the thing. If you really want to talk about problematic behavior in terms of statistics, we need to talk about white men. Most mass shootings in America? White men. School shootings? White men. Intimate partner violence, typically known as domestic violence, white men. Police brutality and systemic violence, white men. Online harassment and extremism, white men. Domestic terrorism, white men. Serial killers, white men. The demographic making up the vast majority of CEOs, judges, senators, and police chiefs who refuse to hold white men responsible, white men. And yet us white men are rarely talked about as being a problem. Few white people are asking what's wrong with white men, what's wrong with the culture. Few white men are demanding that we be fixed. And why? Because we as white men humanize and individualize white violent offenders.
When you go to today in African education system, and you go to the history of African education system, our kids are only being taught about how the Americans or the white people brought the good news in Africa, how the white Americans brought like a good education system to Africa, a religion to Africa, how they brought the foreign languages like English and Swahili. So it seems like they came to help Africa so much, but they are not being told as how the white Americans committed genocides in Africa. They are not telling the African kids in education or in schools as how the Belgium or the King Leopold committed genocides in the country of Congo. They are not being told about the genocide in the country of Rwanda. They are not being told of what happened for the African countries which made Africa to be where it is. They are not being told about the 1884 Berlin Conference, how it affected the African continent, but they are only telling them as how they came out to discover and to separate African countries into border issues, into pieces, so that Africa can live independently, indifferently, so that that is all that they are being told. And when you go to American history, they are being told the same. They are not telling them as how they came to Africa, how they splitted Africa, how they unalived many people who tried to come and expose this truth. But today, these are the people who are coming out and realize all that happened, and they're like, wow, we are so sorry. We are so sorry, black people, our brothers and sisters. We are so sorry for all that was done against your life, because when you go through the history of Africa since the time of slavery, you cannot like it. You cannot like it, because all that was done against these people was inhumans. And now, today, everything that the white system was doing against the black people, today is turning against their own people. Today, many white Americans are dying under their own system. Many people today, white Americans, are losing jobs under their own system. Many people from America are unable to afford their own life under their own system. The system that has kept them for so long, the system that has been there protecting them, listening to them, to their voices, and giving them what they want. But today, they feel like the same system has come to betray them, so they are no longer able to get anything from the system. Today, they're facing problems, critics, chaos and crisis. Today, the life has become a massacre to them. Today, it's not a matter of the low-class people, but even the middle-class people are unable to sustain their own life. Today, you find someone is working more than 2 jobs, but he or she is not able to pay for his bills. And now they are like, what is happening? What is happening across the world, across America? Because now all that their system was used to do against their own people is the same as what it is happening. It's doing to their own people. And now that's when they have come to realize how cruel their system is. Because this system was set to oppress, but not to help, not to protect, not to listen. The system was made only to discriminate, only to depress people. So today, the people of America are feeling like now the American dream has died, and now they have to do something, or to look for the new way on how to survive on their own countries. So when the black people have been always coming out, speak about how cruel and how evil the white system is, how America is, the people or the world never listened. when the black Americans have been always suffering in the country of America, they're dying under the gun rights, dying under the government oppression, under police brutality, and everything, under all sorts of oppression. The white Americans never cared about it. They never came out to address the issues that was affecting other communities. They never cared about how the people are losing life innocently. They never cared until the time now their own people have come to face the problems, the same problems that the black people have been always facing under their own system. That's when they have come to realize that, we need to do something. And if this is how these people have been going through, then these people have suffered much. I came across a video of a white American, and he was saying that he visited in one of the streets where majority are the black people. And he experienced how these people are being treated, but he was never treated the same as how the black people were being treated. And he felt like, now, if this is what is happening, then America has a problem, because up to this time, the American system or government has never accepted a racism, but they have been always covering it. They have never accepted about the racial discrimination. They have never covered or accepted the police brutality across a black community. They have been always denying these facts, but that is how things have been always happening. The people who lived under slavery in these countries, they passed through a lot. They passed through a lot, and they died with pain in their hearts, pain in their chests. But they hoped for the best. They prayed that one day freedom will come out, and one day the people who are oppressing them will come to be oppressed. And now today, the black people are not oppressing them, but they are oppressing themselves. Today they are killing themselves, because now the system that was set to oppress the people of color is the same system today that is oppressing them. So today, I think it's too late for the world to come and react over these issues, because now I feel like now this is the time of erasure. This is the time of this is the payback time, because now I don't think if there's anything that can be done to correct or to put things in order, because as how times is going now, this is a time that we can say it's a payback time, and karma is paying back to how the people were being oppressed. This refers to me to Bible verses back in ancient days, during the time of Israelites under the Pharaoh, as how God pleaded through Moses to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. But Pharaoh was so, he insisted, and he never allowed this to happen. He never allowed the challenge. But he decided to challenge God. And what happened? When the right time came, they were all erased away. They were all swept away. And God decided to save his people, the people who were oppressed over a long time. It came a day, they saw light. They saw freedom. They celebrated. They cheered the name of the Master, of the Mighty. Now, that is what we are expecting from the American Empire. Because if you have ever read about the Babylon Empire, then you know what you're talking about. It oppressed many people for a long time. And when the right time came for the people who were being oppressed to get their freedom. Today we are only talking about the history of the Babylon, but the same Babylon is nowhere to be found. So everything happens according to its own time. But when times come to an end, then you can no longer be able to stop it or to change things from happening as how it's happening. So today, all that is happening, we know that it's affecting the white Americans so much. That's why they're able to come out to say that we need to ask for forgiveness. We need to ask for forgiveness because we are suffering much. Today, majority are the one who are coming out to create videos, crying, complaining about the situations, about the hardship of life, about everything. But the black community are so silent over the whole situation. So they feel like now, if you have been oppressing someone, and now it comes to the time where the same person is so silent over the whole situation, and now you find yourself that it's like you are being humiliated as much, you must be worried. You must be confused, and that is what is happening across America today. I will not take much of your time. Kindly, please continue subscribing, sharing, so we can continue moving with that. This is the Black History, where we uncover the hidden truth, and be blessed wherever you are watching from.